Alright, boys and girls, what's up? It's a Salty Vet back with another video. I try to call balls and strikes down the middle, right? When the Dems, do their silly stuff, most of it I just let go because it's just so damn ridiculous. But when, the GOP, who I'm no fan of, does their silly shit, I'm going to call it out too. And Trump's tariffs are going to be a problem. And I'm still learning economics just as a thing. I was, didn't pay attention in school, whatever. But you can't have, or you shouldn't have, he can because he's doing it. You shouldn't have tariffs and taxes at the same time, because the tariffs are going to raise the cost of our stuff. We're not just going to stop buying stuff. Like the number of countries involved in putting together an American car is pretty astounding. I think it's like 13, a dozen, something like that. From, the glass comes from one place. The motor, comes from another place. The chassis built somewhere else. Like, it's not like back in the 60s you built it all in the same plant. That's not the case anymore, because they could they can send it to Mexico where nobody makes any kind of money, relative to what Americans make, for way cheaper. Therefore you make more on the car. That's just business. Labor is usually your biggest overhead, right? But he's kind of living in a dream world. And I think what's happened, when he first started throwing around tariffs, it was a cudgel. It was a bargaining chip, right? And the first couple times he did it, he got what he wanted and he didn't have to use it. Well, then Canada called his fucking bluff. And now you're just in a big pissing match. And I think there's 3 states, Michigan, New York, North Dakota, maybe, I don't know. There's like 3 states that gets a ton of their electricity from Canada, and those people are getting ready to get put over a barrel and just raw dogged. So this will absolutely affect, everyday citizens. And again, I'm not one of these that, I don't give a shit about the price of eggs, right? I know there are people that do, right? I did not vote for this guy because eggs were $5 a dozen, but for a lot of people, that is a cheap, good source of protein, right? I get that. It's not lost on me. But, he's, at some point, somebody with some, expanded economic knowledge has to step in and go, hey, long term, this isn't going to work. And he said, to be fair, there's going to be some short-term pain, meaning a year, 18 months, where it's going to suck for us, meaning us. Long term, you get squared away. So, are the people willing to do that? I don't think so, because we're fat, soft, and lazy in this country. And we're not accustomed to pain. We don't like being hit in the wallet. We're not willing to make the necessary cuts. We want to live our life. And I'm one of them. I'm looking at me when I say this. I just want to live my life, not have shit cost $9 million, not drop a Benjamin Franklin every time I fill my truck up with gas. But, that might be what's coming. And, again, I disagree with, cut taxes and then institute tariffs, because you're pissing off everybody. And they don't care, and I think people miss this. And it was on display when he was talking with Zelensky, and that whole thing went sideways in front of the media and the entire fucking world. The countries that Trump is pissing off don't care that it's Trump. It's the American president, and they're going to hold that against the next person who sits in that office. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And you can sit there and say, you know, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me all you want. I don't know that they're going to care. Because once you break their trust, man, it's going to be a sumbitch to get it back. So, you know, I would love for him to reach out to, you know, Thomas Sowell and go, hey, you know, how do we rectify this? Because Thomas Sowell's brilliant. He's been around a long time, and this is his world, right? He can tell you the long-term expectations of a given set of actions. And, you know, I just, not a fan. I think the last poll said 61% of Americans are against the tariffs. Because you're hitting us twice, right? And again, we're taxed to death, right? And I've done videos on this. If you ever added up the taxes that you pay, state, federal, local, you know, house, car, food, gas, like we're fucking taxed to death. I, for one, am sick of it. That's another story for another day. But again, continue to educate yourself, continue to look at both sides of a given issue, and I promise you're going to pick up some stuff that you didn't know the first go around. You know, buckle up, kids. It's only been, what's he been in office? Not even 2 months yet? Going to be a wild ride. Y'all be cool.